So we ended up hitting Master Rank before the game went down for maintenance and the new selection pack bringing KASHTIRA to the game came out, and my goodness, we built a cash deck. Link for that is in the description. Our pulls were monstrous and we played 2 matches and we won 2 matches. We're going to take a look at these crazy games because I don't know, I won both the coin flips and I did open pretty good both games, so I don't want to seem biased, but I mean, you judge for yourself. This was absolutely crazy. Look at this opening hand. Shifter plus Fenrir with a Max C. Okay. So we're going to start off Special Summon Fenrir. This is an inherent summon, so unless they Max C in like draw phase, they can't respond to this because it doesn't start a chain. So if they see your Fenrir and then they Max C, like you've already Special Summoned once. So that does not get you a draw off Max C. We end up searching for Ogre, activate Birth. Now we normal summon Ogre. So again, not playing into Max C all that hard. It feels really weird. Let me know for those of you who watch my videos regularly. I mean, playing Max C, having to worry about Max C now, it's a different dynamic, right, that we're going through here. Anyways, the reason we search for Ogre, obviously, is because we already have Birth, and there's no point in searching for Unicorn because the only spell right now that you can search with Unicorn is Birth. So, again, pointless. We might as well search Ogre, get the trap card. We're going first. This is an insane setup. Basically, you need evenly matched to break this, but the opponent is going to Magnamut on the Shifter, and I'm just like, okay, are you on Dragon Link or something? I'm going to chain my Max C before the Shifter resolves, so, because when Shifter resolves, I can't use my Max C. And the Max C will get me a draw 1 off of the Magnamut. And funny enough, it gets me another Shifter, but it's not online because the Max C went to Graveyard. Because the opponent activated a monster effect, we are going to Fenrir banish that Magnamut face down. It is going to be gone forever. Sure, get your search during the end phase. It does not matter. And the Ogre will also excavate 5 cards off the top of your deck. So finally, the tables have turned. I've always complained about people using Kelbeck against me and seeing what I'm on, then they know how to set up. Now I know exactly what you're on. Tearlaments with the Bestial package, under Shifter, your Havness, your Keldo, and your Lubellion are all offline, so I end up banishing your Super Poly, even though it's not really a threat against KASHTIRA, it could be, so just get it out of the way. It's the only card that's really playable here. And then, they're going to draw into their Havness, which, again, sure, summon it, you're under Shifter, your Keldo, and your Crime next, but they'll likely shuffle their deck. So the Magnamut gets banished face down. We're going to go ahead now and Xyz into the Diablosis, and this is what's crazy, right? So under Birth and Preparations and Shifter, this is like insane because I'm going to be able to recur all of the Xyz materials that I'm going to be using here. So look at the extra deck, banish your one of Kit Kalos face down, trigger Diablosis, banish 3 cards face down. What did you banish face down? Well, off of the Ogre, I was able to see that your cards were put back in the same order, right? Havness, Keldo, and Crime. One of, two of. Good luck, sir. Then Birth is going to go ahead and resummon that Fenrir, broken, sure, that we detached for the Diablosis. So we have Fenrir Interruption. We've got, Birth's Interruption is not really live. The Preparations Interruption under a trap card activating isn't really live. So, it's not really that oppressive of a board. You've got Fenrir, but as soon as something is banished face down, it's going to trigger the Diablosis once again, right? So the opponent ends up getting a Druis Worm, and again, that's completely offline. Bestials are not popular when KASHTIRA came to the TCG because A, you're banishing everything, and B, none of the KASHTIRA cards are dark. So, well, a Rice Heart is, but that's about it. So the opponent ends up opening quite strong, actually. Primitive Planet and Regained. They summon a Rhino Heart to banish a Sharon just so they can get Regained effect to draw 1. And I'm like, you brought Sharon to hand off Planet. I can assume you're going to go for a rank 4 Xyz play. We're going to shut that down. Fenrir, because you activated a monster effect, is going to banish your Rhino Heart face down. Now you have like 7 cards banished face down at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to trigger Diablosis to banish 7 more cards. And then you just scoop, losing 14 cards out of your deck. No extension to play around the Shifter and this setup. We're going to get infinite recursion if you can't out this board. Yeah, it's a GG at this point. So poor opponent has no play against KASHTIRA. But I guess when you think about it, KASHTIRA was made to counter Tearlaments, right? If Konami wants to nerf Floowandereeze, I guess we'll play the next best deck around it. Like, look at all of like banishing the tier names. Oh my goodness, banishing your one-ofs, banishing your Shizu cards, banishing your Super Polys, which again are kind of dead against KASHTIRA, banishing your one of traps. Like, oh my goodness, it's just crazy. Yeah, banish your Kit Kalos. Like, oh my goodness, is Fairy Tail Snow a light monster actually? Let me double check. Wow, so you can like Chaos Angel with Fairy Tail Snow and like a Bestial. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, that was game one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second game. Again, I think the game is spoiling me a little bit because they're like, yeah, you just opened like 8,000 gems worth of packs. We gave you the KASHTIRA cards. You invested a little bit to build the deck. So we're going to be nice to you and let you open Fenrir again and win the coin toss. So again, don't let this kind of jade your opinion on KASHTIRA being OP. This setup actually what I'm going to go for. Let me know if there's something better that we could have done. But yeah, searching for Unicorn. We don't have Birth, so we can't normal summon. So we end up banishing Ogre here for Rysart because we have all KASHTIRA names kind of in rotation. Can't wait. I don't know why they didn't bring Scareclaw KASHTIRA to the game, but I guess it's fine. So we end up banishing 3 off the opponent's deck because of Rysart effect, right? And then we go into Shangri-Ira and just pass on this. Because this card during the standby phase of the opponent's turn is going to be able to bring out a KASHTIRA card. So we bring out our other Fenrir here. And this is our only interruption. The opponent does reveal Eldritch, and I'm like, that's crazy. I'm actually going to Ash Blossom that right now, which is might seem a little odd, but I'm like, I plan to out your board if you can't beat me here. So the opponent reveals Fenrir, and I'm like, oh, this is a weird spot because, you know, you summon and you activate the effect, right? So if I banish this Fenrir, they're going to get another free special summon, but I have to banish it because they can just attack and then banish one of my cards face down, right? So I'm kind of stuck here. I'm like, I have to banish the Fenrir. It's the biggest threat. I'd rather deal with the Ogre over the Fenrir. So we do lock a zone. Seeing that they're on Eldritch, I'm like, sure, let me go ahead. Let me go after your spells and traps. But yeah, KASHTIRA Eldritch, interesting deck. So they activate Birth, and I'm like, that's pretty OP. Thankfully, we're banishing face down, so they can't recur with Birth here. And Ogre is, of course, going to grab Preparations. And the opponent thinks for a little while here, goes battle phase, and then passes. So it's I don't know. Why wouldn't you attack into this? I think it's definitely worth getting the Fenrir off the field. But hey, we'll take it. The opponent sets 2 and passes. So I'm like, okay, Preparations and something else, probably an Eldritch Trap. No, they reveal Goes in Match. And I guess that's why they didn't attack, because I guess they wanted me to choose what I wanted to keep. But I would have activated Shangri-Ira during standby anyways. And then they activate this card, which is very odd. My only guess is they purposely wanted to activate that so that they could send it and banish it to get the search that they wanted to during the end phase. So we end up keeping Fenrir here because I'm like, this is what's good about KASHTIRA. Like, as long as it's not a skill drain, my Fenrir, you know, off of Shangri-Ira, which is the searcher, right? So if you don't have Fenrir in rotation, as long as you get the Shangri-Ira on field during standby, you can bring out Fenrir. I can just, look at this. Go battle phase, attack, banish the Goes in face down. Now the floodgate's off the field. That's great. You activated a monster effect. Look at the top cards of my deck here. And I ended up trying out this Ascendant Thunder, but I never ended up using it obviously yet. They end up banishing a Maxi face down, and I'm like, sure. That's kind of irrelevant. I crash my Fenrir, and of course now I'm going to activate the Evenly Matched. They opt to keep the Eldland here. And then I'm like, yeah, you got a lot of face down cards, man. Like, I'm going to start devastating your deck here. We special summon the Fenrir, the Unicorn that we brought off Fenrir here. Now we're searching Birth, and this is just GG's. Like, it's just GG's at this point. You can't evenly me because you've got the face up spell and trap card on the field. We go ahead, Birth, bring out the Ogre that we banished off of the Rise Heart, search Preparations, summon Rise Heart, and the opponent doesn't even want to see anymore because we're just going to start to just absolutely destroy them, and they just end up resigning. Like, it's crazy that people are still playing graveyard decks the day one after KASHTIRA hits the game. Like, you see how many things I just banished face down right there? Absolutely nuts. We take a look at the opponent's deck list. Yeah, interesting. Oh, they're on that Necroworld Banshee Zombie World tech. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, KASHTIRA doesn't care about any of that. Kurikara is a card. This card will be very good into KASHTIRA. You might see this more gaining popularity. It's also a good searchable target with Small World as well. So keep that in mind. This card will literally pop your whole field if under KASHTIRA. It'll get better too once a Rise Heart hits the game. But even right now, like your Shangri-Ira, your KASHTIRA monsters all activating. If you activate a monster effect, then you just pop the Kurikara, wipe the field, win the game. So it's literally that easy. So be careful of this card if you're playing KASHTIRA. But strong start so far. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you want to see me start playing KASHTIRA instead of Floanderiz in Master Rank, let me know. I think that this deck will be pretty good in the first couple of days, but once people kind of catch on that this is a thing, they're going to switch off Tearlaments. But right now, obviously, like you saw, it just destroys Tearlaments. Even going second, I think the deck can do well if it opens up a decent enough hand. But yeah, Floowandereeze might be retired for just a little bit because KASHTIRA is just too powerful. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. If you made it this far, thank you again for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you want to see. Quantum is out.